Greg in South Carolina. Hello, Greg. Welcome to the Glenn Beck program.
Good morning, Glenn. They say God works in mysterious ways. I come out the VA and get in my car, and they'll turn the car on, and the radio is already set to the talk station, and you're on. And the topic that you and that young lady was talking about, I just went through this weekend. I have a 21-year-old that's in college who recently told me, Dad, I want to have fun. I don't believe in God. That whole King James Bible thing is gone. I'm going to drink, smoke, do drugs, and there's nothing that anybody can do. And I'm trying to understand. Again, graduated 8th in his class. He's going to graduate, get his bachelor's a year early. He's in the 5th year in the National Guards. I'm like, wait a minute, what? How? What? And I'm floored. I don't understand where it came from, and I'm, trying to piece together what went wrong. I mean, he's number 4 of 5 children, from 33 down to my 16-year-old that's still at home, and it rocked my world so bad that I'm having to reevaluate myself as a father to what I'm going to do for these last 2 years for a 16-year-old. And I thought my sons and daughters had everything that they needed. I thought the foundation that I built for them was solid enough for them to withstand not just liberalism, but whatever they would go through, because, again, they sat with me day after day, talk radio. We talked about conservatism. We talked about wealth, money management. And more importantly, we talked about faith in God. And he's only in his 3rd year in college, and it seems like I've lost him. And excuse me for getting emotional, but it hurts because it makes me seem like somewhere I either missed something or I failed.
Okay, Greg, there is a reason why you were listening today, and let me see if I can help you through some of this. First of all, you didn't fail. If you've done everything you didn't fail. Many times, children will divorce themselves from the parents and say, I don't want any of that stuff, but life changes them. And sometimes they sow their wild oats, and it is something that comes back and bites them. If you have done all you can, you now have to trust the Lord to do the rest of it, and continue to love Him. Let me give you this one piece, and I hope this helps. You lost 1 out of 4. The Lord lost 1/3 of his children. If you look at the war in heaven and the angels that were up in heaven, they broke away and went with Lucifer. He lost 1/3. Now, you think you failed. How do you think God looked at that? God's God. We know God did everything right. We knew God was. How could you break away 1/3 of the angels who knew God, who saw God, who understood it all? And I am convinced, Greg, the argument that happened, the war in heaven, I think was more of a war of words. The war in heaven is exactly what we are going through right now. And everyone is susceptible to this because of their heart and their free will. Listen, if you were an angel in heaven, and I tried to get you away from the Creator, God, the omnipotent, the all-loving, all-kind, how do you do that? Well, I have to flip the story of him. And I think the easiest way to do it is in the war in heaven. Okay, as they're coming up with, what are we going to do with these humans? What are we going to do? How are we going to send them down? We'll create humans, and how are they going to come back up here? And how are they going to be with their Father in heaven? Well, there's one plan, and one plan is, look, there's going to be lots of suffering and misery and disease and everything else, and I'm going to take that all away. I'll take it all. Everybody just go down there, follow me, and do exactly what I say, and then you'll come back, and everything will be fine. Jesus says, no, you know what? There's another way. Let everybody go down there and find it for themselves. Let them go and have free will and be themselves and discover it, because if they discover it themselves through the pain, they're going to be strong enough to come back. And anybody who needs to be washed clean, I'll take on the suffering as well. Lord picks that one. Now, if you're one of the angels, you are listening to Satan, and Satan would stand up very calmly and say, okay, let me tell you a little bit about Dad here. Let me talk a little bit about the guy that we have all worshiped, Dad. He is saying that he knows that humans are going to suffer. He knows there's misery beyond your understanding, disease, temptation, war, famine, pain, suffering, death, aloneness. There's all of these things that are going to happen, and he's fine with it. And those who are maybe too messed up to come home, he's saying, I'm going to send my favorite son down, and I'm going to put him through all of that, and then they're going to nail him to a tree. Wow, Dad, thanks a lot. Now think of this, because this is the same argument that is being used for socialism. The same people that are skewing perhaps your son in college are doing the same thing. First of all, fun all the time. Second of all, socialism. I mean, listen, you know what the capitalists are doing? You know what people are saying? They're saying that you should go down and live your life in a world that is unfair, where people who are unfair, knowingly, they are going to stop you because of their bias. Things are going to be so unequal. Some will have so much money they won't know what to do with. Others are going to have nothing and they're going to starve to death. Some people who are really smart are never going to make it because they're the wrong gender, they're the wrong color, or they're just not popular enough. They don't have another set of skills, and they're never going to make it, and they're going to waste away. People are going to be lonely and hungry. And what does the government say? The government says, let them be hungry. Let them be alone. Let them stumble. Let them fall. Because through their pain, they'll learn. And it's their own free will. And a socialist will say, really? That's your compassionate government? That's your constitutional compassion? And you want to restrain us, the government? All we're saying is the government should be required to do some things for some people. And you want to restrain us. Greg, the same thing that your son went through and is lost, and I pray temporarily, is the same thing that the third of the angels went through. And the Lord lost a third, and they ain't coming back. But hopefully your son will.